What is up, guys? Zach here from the Chaos Galaxy, and today we've got a planet profiling bonanza because basically, long story short, I've been too organised and received the package with the brand new set 5 packs for Chaos Galaxy before I finish showing you all the cards. So I want to get those released as soon as possible, but I can't do that until I've shown off the whole set. So we're doubling down and quick firing planet profiles like they're going out of fashion. So we're going to start with Barrow. I'll talk about an intro to the planet, show you some of the existing cards, and then get onto the brand new set 5 stuff. And then as soon as that's finished, we're going to go straight onto Polysium. Now I saved these planets for last because they both recently got their planetary collections released, which was like a huge bunch of cards released for one planet at a time. So there's a lot of cool stuff in there, but the planet Barrow is the defensive planet, the rock and machine type planet for the galaxy, the first one to develop life, and it reads, once per turn, you can swap round the power and health of one Barrow creature on your planet, and at the end of your opponent's turn, they're swapped back. So, although they're very defensive, their aim, hold out until your opponents run out of resources, then flip their power and health and just go for the win. So starting with set 1, we saw Humongous Ancient Rockman, the cover card for the set. Barrow was the strongest planet really when set 1 was out. They also had Det with 40 power and 320 health. The most one-sided creature like in the game by far at its time of release, which you could obviously swap with Barrow's ability, making him super powerful. As well as Aditrox, one of the best store cards in the game that has to be killed twice. There's then the resource Desert Quake, which sacrifices your own Barrow creatures to kill your opponent's cards. After set 1, they had very little support in set 2 because they were so strong. But after that, their starter deck was released, which saw this card, Humongous Creation, which has seen a lot of play recently, allows you to draw cards if you draw Barrow creatures. Set 3, we saw Boominator, a really, really good card that's used in a lot of one-turn kill decks. And then after that, set 4 was pretty weak for the planet, but we had the Planetary Collection, which saw the Burrowbug archetype, which are a really good archetype and see a lot of play at the moment. There's also this card Calamask, which is really strong, and their Chaos Beast, Inox of Barrow, which is arguably the strongest Chaos Beast, if not definitely second, probably behind Sindel's. But that's where the planet stands right now. Very strong planet. Burrowbug's tearing up the competitive scene, and plenty more stuff that I'm going to show you now. So the first card we have is a creature called Pointosaurus. I've had quite a few requests for dinosaur cards in set 5, so these are the first ones in the game. There's Pointosaurus with 210 power and 230 health, 5 stars. Not great stats, but when it's cosplayed, you gain 1 point for each of your zoned creatures. So it's an automatic 1 point because of itself. And then any more stuff you have, you could be gaining 3, 4 points in a turn. So for point ability decks, this is probably going to be a very useful creature. Can also be searched out by Barrow's search card, 5-star fossil. Next up, we have another Mexican-inspired one called Lemul. I think it's based on like a little toy of a llama that I saw. Which reads, once per turn, after you cosplay another Barrow creature, you get to add a creature zone to your planet. So it can't really work on himself, but if you go cosplay a Pointosaurus, you're going to get points from that, a zone off that, and you can play more stuff, and I think it's going to be quite a fun card. Not specifically like a Barrow-esque card, but quite a cool one nonetheless. It's always nice to have some more options to get zones in as well, and a pretty good health stat. Next up, we have Mool, which I've shown you already. 60 power and 120 health, and when your opponent moves 2 or more creatures into battle zones, you can free play it from your hand. So a good defensive card that goes with the theme of Barrow, really. We've then got quite an interesting one. It's a card with no ability, and it's called Nutuntun, which means stone on top of stone in an ancient Central American language that I found in Mexico. And thought it was just a very cool and Chaos Galaxy-esque word. Again, based on a cool thing I saw in a museum, so I have a little picture of that. 40 power, 250 health, and only 3 stars. And that stat is really relevant for 3 stars because 250 health means he gets, if you use the planet Barrow's ability to swap his stats around, 250 power gets you 3 points for an attack. And this is the first creature in the game that can get you 3 points for an attack. So, very interesting one there. Next up, we have another cool one. Big fan of his artwork, and it's just a powerful creature for a common. Avalanche Overlord with 300 power and 360 health. So again with Barrow, if you swap his power and health around, he'll be getting you 4 points for an attack. But when this creature is played, free or cost, you kill all zoned creatures with 400 or more power. Now this is going to be really good against Polysium, which is currently the strongest planet in the game. Good against Chaos Beast, against any boss creatures. And if you have something that can free play it, like if your opponent has one of these killed, and they've got like a Chaos Beast out on their field, and you can like Phantom Matter this back or find a way to get it to your own planet, you can just drop it and it wipe out your opponent's creatures. I think this card is going to be a really cool one. I don't know how much play it'll see, because 7 stars is a lot and its stats aren't amazing. But a cool card nonetheless, and yeah, I like his artwork. Next up, with just some reprints to make the cards from the planetary collections more accessible. Calamask is going to be in set 5 as a common. Very useful card. Won't go into detail on it because it's already released in the game. And then we've got the original print of Inox of Barrow. Every Chaos Beast is a really rare, but in the planetary collection it got a reprint as a ridiculously rare. So here's the, I guess, downgraded version, but let me know which you prefer. I think I prefer the ridiculously rare, which probably should because it's the rarer version of the card. Next up we have a resource card, which I think is going to be fantastic for the deck. Make it more sort of Barrow themed in terms of its longevity. Bazaar of Old Baroque, based on like loads of cool markets that I saw in Central America. Not one in particular, but the artwork took me quite a while. As you can see, I've put quite a lot of detail into it, so really cool. But shuffle 3 killed 4-star or lower Barrow creatures into your galaxy, then draw 1 card. Simple as that. You get to recycle your deck and draw a card while you're at it. Lots and lots and lots of Barrow creatures in this one as well. How 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 in the background there. But if you can name all 7 creatures in this artwork, I'll be very, very impressed. The next card we have is a permanent resource. This was kind of based on a suggestion I got on Discord, but the Daily Chaos, it's the newspaper for the Chaos Galaxy. So you've got the breaking news that set 5 is out today. It's not out yet, still be probably a week or so. But once per turn, the turn player can choose to use one of the following abilities. Either gain a point, gain 2 stars, or pay 4 stars to draw 1 card. So I don't know if this is going to be good or not, but it's going to make games pretty crazy, affecting both players, just powering up the speed of the game. Abilities to gain points or stars is just always nice. And yeah, I think just could be a bit of fun, and chaos is probably what's going to happen, hence the name. So that's that one. And the last card we have for the sort of Barrow side of this planet profile is Permanent Point Protection Pro Patented. It's technology that protects you from all point ability cards, so neither player can gain or lose points through card abilities. And then, by request from the fans, people said that their favourite card from the planetary collection Barrow is Saberfluth. He's a creature that's not been reprinted in this set, but his artwork features with him being protected by the points from the Permanent Point Protection Pro Patented. So, that's it for the Barrow side of this video. I was getting ready to sign off then, just force of habit, but we're going to take these cards away and do the old switcheroo. No, that was smooth, wasn't it? Oh, it's upside down. Do the old switcheroo to the Polysium side of things. Okay, so now it's time to take a dive into the water and ice planet of Polysium, which focuses on having very weak creatures like little fish and sponges and amoeba, powering up extremely powerful creatures like big sea monsters and ice trolls and sharks and stuff. And then there's very little sort of middle ground cards in between them. But the first thing you'll notice is that Gavora, the second artist for the game, has done an amazing alternative art for Polysium that's going to be printed in set 5, so that's really cool. And the planet reads, you can kill 2 Polysium creatures on your planet that have a combined total of 6 stars or less to free play any Polysium creature in your hand. So like killing 2 weak guys to play a big one. So for some of the existing cards in the planet, which are really good, currently Polysium is the strongest planet in the game, I guess. But we've got Cranchon, the first creature with 500 power, who's from set 1. Then we have the Polysium starter deck, which brought about Duple Drop, contribute himself as 2 costs for the planet Polysium, as well as Mystical Beast of the Deep, which can recycle your strong Polysium creatures. Then set 2 and 3 were pretty dead for the planet. It didn't introduce much. Set 4, however, brought some really strong cards with Gabostrus, really good boss creature for the planet, as well as Pajuru, a little weak creature that can revive itself when a big guy's killed, as well as the Chaos Beast Crouching of Polysium. This is actually the reprint from the Planetary Collection in ridiculously rare form. And that Planetary Collection also brought about an amazing archetype in the Palifals archetype. Great Serpent being one of maybe the best boss creature in the game at the moment. So they're really good. As well as Leviathan Crown, which just got put to 1 on the current ban list, but it protects your 7 or 8 star Polysium creatures from being killed by abilities. Really good. And that's where the planet's at right now. So let's show you what's coming for it. We've got a zone-themed hammerhead shark, creatively called Zamazed, with 160 power and only 20 health, but he's a rare with 3 stars that reads, when it's cosplayed, you add 1 zone of any type to your planet. So because he's only got 3 stars, zones tend to always cost 2 or 4 stars anyway, so they're pretty much free. Or even you're gaining a star of value through him. So yeah, I think he's going to be a good card. Next up, if you saw my most recent how to make trading cards at home video, you'll already know Stomposaurus. He's just a 7-star with no ability, 400 health though, which is very relevant. A cute little 1-star guy, Schnoob, who's got 20 power and 60 health. He's a common and he's unaffected by the abilities and attacks of combiner creatures. So if you're going up against a combiner deck, he is really going to cause some problems. I just like the thought of this little tiny like trumpet fish facing up against some of like the scariest monsters in the game. Oh, then we have a Squaz card. I've shown you some Squazes already. And the third one, but not the final one in set 5, is Droplet Squaz. Put on some comparisons to the others. But he's got 110 power and 50 health. And like all the other Squazes, his ability is after this creature is killed by an opponent's attack. And for Droplet Squaz, you get to draw 1 card. Pretty standard. There's already some cards in the game that do this, but Droplet Squaz is the first Polysium one. And there is something that I'll be revealing that ties all the Squazes together. Then we have Crazy Hands, the Ice Shaker, who's a 2-star common, and he is pretty crazy. He's got really strong power and health for a 2-star, but he reads, before you move this creature into a battle zone, you must remove 1 empty zone from your planet. But, I mean, he can just sit there with his 200 health. That's pretty good anyway. We've then got a Gavora artwork, which is Chryso, who's a 4-star. You don't see many 4-stars for Polysium. But he's got 100 power and 100 health. And only once you can attach 1-handed card to this creature. And whilst that card is attached, this creature gains 150 power and health. So that's pretty cool. And also there's a little combo where if the card that you attach is an attachment card, it will gain the ability of that attachment card too, because it's a attachment card attached to a creature, if that makes sense. So not only will he be getting a lot through his own ability, but attachment decks could really benefit off him. We've then got Jubba Blub, who's a reprint from the Planetary Collection. Just a basic, no ability, 260 power, which is great, and 150 health. And yeah, I think it's always nice to still have some like no ability creatures to keep things simpler for new players buying packs and stuff. So that's all the creatures for Polysium in set 5. The only cards I've not shown you now really are no planet cards. Actually, I lied. I'm really sorry, but I have to apologise there to Hasman Marsh, the proud creator and well-earned winner of the designer card contest, for designing Reef Wanderer, a 6-star Polysium creature with 240 power and 320 health. And when he's cosplayed, you gain 1 point for each of your other zoned Polysium creatures. Which I've only just realised, saying these words now, that it is exactly the same as Pointosaurus, but just for Polysium creatures. He does have better stats though. And he has much cooler art. This looks a lot better than Pointosaurus, I have to say. But that's it for all the creatures, but still got plenty of other stuff to show you. We've got the resource card support for the planet in this set, which is 7-starred Seagrass. Just simply add a Galaxied 7-star Polysium creature to your hand. You can search out your Stomposaurus. It's more than likely going to search out your Mystical Beast of the Deep as well. Maybe a Zeto Ray or 2. Yeah, just a decent support card. And it's only going to get better as more 7-star creatures come out for the planet. The next one we have, I think this will be quite a good anti-Polysium creature. It's called Torch of Torquorch. All zoned creatures lose 100 health. All yours, all your opponents, and this is a permanent resource, so it just goes on forever. I think this could combo quite well if you use like some really weak creatures like Zamazed that only has 20 health. Schnoob. Creatures with less than 100 health, like losing 20 health on your creature is obviously way better than losing 100 health if your opponent's creature has a lot of health. So could be used like that. I don't know. But got one card left to show you in this marathon of a video, which is an activator called Ultimate Doom. And I'm terrible at drawing hands, but I'm really pleased with how this hand came out. And it's not the main focus point of the image, but just felt like I had to big myself up for that. But Ultimate Doom is a rare, which reads, when your opponent plays a creature so that the stars of all their zoned creatures adds to 13 or more, you kill all your opponent's zoned creatures. So this is really good against Polysium. Polysium loves committing big creatures to the board, quite often multiple at the same time. So if your opponent has, say, a Cranchon of Polysium with 9 stars, and then they want to go ahead and get greedy and play a Reef Wanderer as well with another 6 stars on top of that, that's 15 in total. So you throw down your Divine Doom against them and kill everything, punishing them for big moves. I think this is going to be a cool tech card. I can see it being used in a lot of decks. It's obviously not going to be good against everything. And it's 13 stars is a lot. Like, even if you have an 8-star creature and a 4-star creature, that's not even enough to fulfill this card. I think it's going to be really good against Polysium. And yeah, just going to stop those big plays, really turning the tide of a game. So I think it's going to be a very cool card. I'd like to see what it does in the competitive scene. But that's it. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Oh no, there's a gap. Let me know which of these cards you like. Let me know which you don't like. I know it's been a bit of a rush and there are tons of cards to show you. But I hope you watched most of the video and appreciated the cards that you've seen here. Because although I've just done this in like a 15-20 minute video, it will have taken me hours and hours to make all these cards. So really hope you like them. Still a few more cards to reveal for set 5, but I just really want to get on with this pack opening now. I've still not shown the ridiculously rare creature card for the set. I'm very, very excited to do that because it is a damn cool one. After a few duds in the last couple of sets, set 5 is really bringing it up with the creatures. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Set 5 is out very soon. Join the Chaos Galaxy Discord and Instagram where people are talking about these cards. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.